Well, you just heard Dr. Ben Carson offering an explanation for his remarks about Muslims and the presidency, and the media coverage over the last day or so has been brutal.
The only thing I'm surprised about is that the sort of Muslim bashing has taken this long to come out in the GOP field.
It's a real problem for Ben Carson. And unfortunately, it's a real problem for the Republican Party right now until this is cleaned up.
Governor Bobby Jindal is the governor of Louisiana. He's also a Republican presidential candidate. Good to see you tonight, Governor. And so now you've heard Scarborough there and some others suggesting this is a problem for the entire GOP field. This is now a litmus test that all of you need to be asked what you think about whether President Obama's a Muslim, whether he was born in the United States, and whether we can have a Muslim president. Is that where we are now?
Well, Megyn, first of all, look, the GOP doesn't have a Muslim problem. Now, America's got a radical Islam problem. Here's why this is such a silly gotcha question to Republicans. Show me, they keep asking presidential candidates like myself, would you vote for a Muslim for president? Show me that Muslim Republican who's going to be fighting for religious liberty, who's going to vow to destroy ISIS, who's going to fight to repeal Obamacare, who's going to preserve our Judeo-Christian heritage. Show me that candidate, and I'd be happy to consider voting for that person. The reality... I'm sorry?
How about Zuhdi Jasser?
Megyn, I'm sorry. Look, I think that a conservative Christian from Louisiana is the best person for president.
There are Muslims who are, somebody you might like who's a conservative thinker who stands for religious liberty. They're out there.
Well, and that's why I think this is such a silly gotcha question. We've got 16 now candidates running for president. I think the best qualified candidate for president is a conservative Christian from Louisiana. At the end of the day, I'm going to vote for somebody who I think will do the best job, that shares my values. In this race, I think it's me. And I think that the media loves to play gotcha games with the Republicans. They love to play silly games. Now, look, our country does have a problem with radical Islam. Our president doesn't want to say that. He doesn't want to say that to Muslim leaders they need to denounce individuals who commit acts of terror, not just generic acts of violence. He doesn't want to say that Muslim leaders need to explicitly endorse religious liberty for people of other faiths that they want for themselves. But these are just silly gotcha questions from the media. At the end of the day, I think I'm the best qualified candidate. I happen to be a conservative Christian from Louisiana, and I'm happy for every Republican to vote for me.
All right, now let me ask you this, because Scott Walker dropped out of the race this week saying, I got to get out because we got to clear the field for some strong candidate to emerge and take down the current runner, Donald Trump. That was his statement. We heard similar remarks from Rick Perry. Your polling numbers are obviously not near the top. What do you make of that message?
Well, look, I don't think the RNC, the establishment, the donors should try to pick our candidate. Every time they try to clear the field, it backfires, and conservative activists are onto this. The party wants to get behind an establishment candidate like Jeb Bush. The reality is we need to fight for our conservative principles. We're running a guerrilla campaign here on the ground in Iowa. We're doing great, building great crowds. I think it's time to fire all of the establishment in D.C., get rid of all the incumbents in the Republican and the Democratic Party. The Republicans said they were going to fight Obamacare, amnesty. They said they were going to defund Planned Parenthood. They said they were going to stop the Iran deal. They haven't done any of it. I'm actually angry at the Republicans. I've got more respect.
They tried. They didn't have the votes. They tried to repeal Obamacare 50 times.
They say they tried, but they haven't voted once on a replacement for Obamacare. They won't use the nuclear option to get rid of the Iran deal. They're afraid to defund Planned Parenthood because the president opposes it.
Okay.
We got lying conservatives and honest socialists. I wish they'd fight half as hard as the Democrats did for their values. They're not trying. They're just going through the motions. It's time to fire all of them and elect a real conservative to the White House.
Great to see you.
It's time to get term limits.
Thank you, sir.
Megyn.
Thank you for being here.